Monster Island Secrets. Shaboom! It is Monster Island Buddies Secrets Season 7 time. Because of you guys who helped us cross to 135,000 subscribers. That's too many people watching these toys do stupid things. But I love you. I love you. I'm very happy to record my look back on Season 7 and bring you guys along with me. So let's just get started. There's something really different about Season 7 that we got to talk about right out of the gate. Season 7 is the one and only season that I wrote entirely from start to finish before I started shooting the season. Yeah, this one was all written at once because it had to hit a lot of points on a roadmap, so I wanted to be sure that those points were distributed throughout the season in a nice balanced fashion.
My fellow Americans?
Uh-oh, we're starting with Obama. Politics. You know what the best part about 2014 was? Nobody gave a shit. This is one of the first times I ever used a printout for a background of a scene.
Won't nukes just make some of the monsters stronger?
I'm almost positive that this was a case where I recorded the voices and then later on shot the episode and was trying to find a random toys to fill the voices. So that's why Spider-Man talks like that. Okay, so we're about to drop a whole bunch of random new characters. So the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is Goji73. This is the first time that I invited somebody to be a guest voice on the show. It's probably the first time I reached out to anybody as Monster Island Buddies, which is like, what are we, 4 years into the channel's existence? I'd reached out to Goji and also ZAZZLE to do guest voices in this season, because those were the channels I watched as I was discovering, you know, Godzilla and Toku World on YouTube. So yeah, so he's Stay Puft, and I love that he gave him sort of a strong, sad voice from Homestar Runner.
Hey, come on!
Tickle his tummy! A Gucci Gucci Goo! A Gucci 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 Goo!
I'll stop that!
Godzilla fat shames him because Godzilla's a piece of shit still. Alright, so next we have Kumanga, and this is Ron's second character. After 4 years, he voiced the second character besides King Caesar. And I remember because the entire season was pre-written, it was really easy for me to just sit Ron down and get all the King Caesar lines and all the Kumanga lines for the whole season in one sitting.
You look just like him.
Shut up, idiot!
But he Burt Reynolds. Look it.
So Kumanga is Ron just doing a funny voice. I don't remember it being specifically based on anyone or inspired by anyone. Kamakuras, on the other hand, definitely has a lot of Ren Hoek in him. And here's ZAZZLE making the debut as Gypsy Danger, the first Pacific Rim character to be on the channel.
Don't just stand there, fight back, fat ass!
Come on, that's not nice.
I wanted to make it clear that Godzilla was still not a good person at this point in the story, even though he was a designated leader in a war, but perhaps I went a little too far with the fat jokes. I acknowledge that.
I've fallen and I can't get up! That's an old joke, kids.
That is an old joke. That is an old joke indeed. That goes back to a commercial from the 1980s.
You are the enemy. An enemy deserves no mercy.
I specifically gave Gypsy Danger some Cobra Kai dialogue there from the Karate Kid. And I love how they get this nice introduction as the Fucktastic Four, but then they're never referred to as that again, and I'm pretty sure all four of them get picked off one by one in this season and the next season. Rest in peace, Fucktastic Four. Oh, so this is the episode where Rodan debuts his Rodan theme song.
Here comes Rodan with my big wingspan. Here comes Rodan, fly like Peter Pan.
So if you recall, Gamera was not around all of last season. That was because I'd given the Showa Gamera toy a little retirement in my brother's house. So I got this new Heisei Gamera to use for Gamera's return, and I figured it would be okay if he changed form since he hasn't been on the show for quite a long time.
I pickle things now. Want to try some of my pickles?
So Gamera mentions he's into pickling, and honestly, I freaking love pickles. They're like my favorite food in the world, and I've always been interested in doing a little pickling myself. 6 years ago, I made that plan, and apparently I still haven't followed through. I want a pickle! First appearance of Cthulhu, finally, episode 77. This Cthulhu toy was a bitch to shoot. I'd have to shine a light directly on his face because his paint was just absorbing all light, and I wanted you to be able to see his eyes. Whoa! It's the first appearance of the Cloverfield monster. So the death of Baragon was to show that absolutely nobody was safe during this war, and that there could be unexpected casualties in episodes that have nothing to do with them. The title of this episode is Gamera Returns. This is where I really wanted to put surprises into the story and just show that nobody's safe.
None of us are safe in this war.
Which one of us will die next?
Alright, I laid it on thick, I get it.
Can you do a Goldilocks and the Three Bears Monster Island Buddies version?
So now this is a fun kind of question, because instead of just like, who's the fastest monster, who's the weakest monster, this one sets up a little skit for me to do. I've wrapped rodent in toilet paper quite a few times on this show, haven't I? So now we revisit this moment in history where Godzilla meets Jiras and has sexual congress with her in the men's room. So 9 months and 1 marriage later, not in that order, I get to use this Showa soft vinyl Minilla toy for the very first time.
What the screonk are you talking about?
That might be the first time I had Godzilla use screonk as a curse word. I know there's definitely been other times. This might be the first one.
What are you, chicken?
I'm not a chicken, you're a turkey!
So that line is from an anti-drug PSA that used to air a lot during my childhood years. Had the Ninja Turtles advising some kid how to stand up to a drug pusher, and that was his comeback line. I'm not a chicken, you're a turkey. So here we go, the first meeting of Minilla and his best friend Anguirus. Oh yeah, and this is when my iPad had that Radiohead Crying Minotaur decal. I liked that it matched the red iPad cover. So I think since the season was scripted ahead of time, it was nice that the mailbag segments still gave me something unscripted to do, so I wasn't just a production slave working off of pre-made scripts. I could do some improv and have some fun too. So this is just the same Titanosaurus done via a mirror shot. And that hair on the female one is from a Halloween wig that I actually ruined to do this bit. Oh, it's the continuing adventures of the Resistance aliens. Oh, is somebody keeping track of all their appearances? You gotta put them in order. See their whole story unfold.
Hey sis, I just got a report that a group of Godzilla's friends are nearby, and they're all robots. We should attack them.
Leave me alone, brah. I'm talking to my online boyfriend.
So you might have noticed that Biolante's voice has been incredibly inconsistent throughout the series. Alright, moving on.
Unbelievable.
And of course, this running gag where everyone keeps saying unbelievable is a reference to the movie Varan, the Unbelievable. And that's a character I really wanted to bring to the show sooner, but I just couldn't get a good soft vinyl of him or a toy of him, and I had to wound up sucking it up and getting an X Plus, just so I had something to use for him on the show. It's actually a very similar story for Ukamanga, so 2 X Pluses premiere in one season. They would be the only 2 X Pluses I would ever own, and I've already sold them, so I currently own no X Pluses. Yeah, that's my age. I remember signing on to the internet and hearing this whole sound, followed by the welcome. But yeah, I thought it would be a fun time to have all the robots just be grouped together for an episode, and this is kind of something that's overdue. I should do it again.
Shaw, you're involved in this big monster war? Dude, wars don't resolve anything.
And now we get Varan the Pacifist. A little bit of a joke because of his non-involvement in the events of Destroy All Monsters, a movie that he just flew around in the background during. I think this is the first time we show that Gigan likes to play video games with his friends. I know it's the first time we show one of the Gargantuans. So this then and now gimmick I did in this episode is something that happened on The Walking Dead. I think like that week. It was very close to when I put this episode out. It's been referenced and hinted at in the past, but here it is, the hipster showing off his creation of Mechagodzilla.
I ran a diagnostic. His body is in bad shape. It's millions of years old. Hello.
Yeah, so that's a little reminder that it is canon that Mechagodzilla's body did go back in time, and then the battery died, and then his body just laid there lifeless for millions of years. And it also gave a good excuse to bring this show of Mechagodzilla I recently acquired onto the show proper. So in the background there is an out-of-focus Titanosaurus pretty much desecrating the beheaded body of Earl. I'm still using the Showa Mechagodzilla to this day. I can't believe it's been 6 years. Yep, so that'll be it for Gypsy Danger in this series. Turned out he was the inside guy for President Obama.
Dear Rodan, play Five Nights at Freddy's.
So around the time of this mailbag was when I actually did play Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time of my life. The first game. I guess it's because I wrote this entire season at once, but man, every episode in this season is just like blended together in my memory. I can't remember what happened to what episode. It's all just like one long story in my mind.
You are in the domain of Cthulhu!
Oh no, I'm in monster hell!
Yes!
So kind of like I did with Gojira, calling him like Gohira sometimes. For whatever reason, I liked to butcher Cthulhu's name sometimes and call them Cthulhu, Thalululu, Cthulhu. I don't know. Don't ask me to explain jokes.
Oh, hey, Ronan. I was looking over the team's dental plan, and it's not that good. So I think I'm gonna switch sides.
What? You can't switch sides!
Bitch, goodbye.
So if you remember last season, we saw a future where Ultraman switched to the bad guy side because they had a better dental plan. Well, since nothing's been done to change that, here we get to see him actually do it in the present.
Yo, you ever see that movie, The Star Wars? Something I don't get. Why was the Ewok so little, but Chewbacca is 7'2"?
This might be the first time on the channel I've referred to it as The Star Wars, which is something I've done more than a few times across different shows. So after over 50 episodes, Jet Jaguar finally gets his revenge on King Ghidorah for what happened to him in Season 1.
Look! Ultraman and the Marshmallow Man! Oh shit.
And you should know that until this day, there's still tiny bits of dried marshmallow stuck on that Ultraman figure. Oh, that was a Muto I was throwing, because at the time, everyone was requesting Muto in the show. Cool, so here's a Christmas idea I'd been thinking about for a few years before I finally got to implement it, and that's the 12 Days of Christmas parody. And the style of this song, where things just gradually get out of control, it's kind of inspired by the 12 Pains of Christmas, which is a song I used to hear on the radio around Christmas time when I was little. If you haven't heard the 12 Pains of Christmas, you should look it up. And one day I did bring Hedorah back. I'm really glad that lately I've been finding organic ways to mix Hedorah back into the plot. I miss that character when she's not around. Plus, I like to think that she has sort of a wisdom that most of the characters on Monster Island don't have. Yeah, so this is 2014. Godzilla's back in the theaters, and I acquired a Bandai Muto figure that at this point I had not worked into the show yet. So every Christmas when we worked together, Ron and I would exchange gifts, and he got me the same Muto, so I had two. Here, I'll pause the screen so you can finally read this text. And this is true. While Hedorah was absent for big chunks at a time, nobody ever really asked where she was. But I think that was because in these days it was still about, where's this character, where's that character, where's the Muto? And you might have not realized it, but this episode ends an era for Monster Island buddies, because the next episode, Let's Get Physical, is the first to take place at my new house. And this is the home where every episode has been taking place since to this recording. Oh hey, I'm using the Godzilla Island Medical Jet Jaguar again. I'm pretty sure that this song you're hearing now and the instrumental track to the 12 Days of Christmas were the first songs I ever paid to use for the channel. Like the first I licensed to put in an actual video that cost me money. You got the gargantuans wrestling each other and then stopping to say hey. Another little Muto tease. Yeah, we got like 85% of the screen out of focus. That's cinematography. And there's an Ibra playing in the sink. And it's not the YMSF Ibra I would come to use later on the show. This is his daddy. Is this Manda's first appearance? I think this might be Manda's first appearance. So there's a graphic asset error in this clip that's bugged me for 5 years now, and that is, here I'll pause it so you can see. The origin of the blood squirting upward should be off camera somewhere, but it's clearly just in midair right here. That's the kind of thing that I'll remember for 5 years, and, 5 more, maybe 50 more. My X Plus Kumanga lost one of his antennae there. 5 years later, I would sell that toy on eBay with one antenna. And I know for a fact it's going to turn up one random day. I know it.
And he all crazy in the head. He got the shell shock. He's like twitching and all throwing up all over the place.
Stop talking, man.
So this was going to be Kumanga's shtick, and Kamakuras would kind of serve as the straight man for this comedy duo. But I don't know, these two characters just never really were clicking together for me. And that's fine, that happens sometimes. This show has hundreds of characters.
Whoops, you can't fight. You have asthma. I don't think you can fight until we get you some medication.
But
I have asthma. I grew up with asthma. It sucks.
Read the first two.
Alright, so let's pause the screen and take a look at that eye chart. It's got the eye cup, and then the next lines are, MIB is the best something YouTube, maybe? Blah, blah, agree, blah, blah, but, with 2 T's. I wish I could tell you what that says. I wish I could remember. So in all these secrets videos, we haven't really talked about these end screens, and these end screens are usually just attribution credits, which means these are things I was allowed to use for free as long as I said where I was getting them from. That said, girl pees in toilet is a sound I had to download once, and a tribute to Mike. So as most of you would come to realize as this Monster Island Buddies plot progressed, the story Gojira is telling right now is his own origin story. He's telling the kids about how Cthulhu gave him the Godzilla radioactive powers. It's also foreshadowing his return as a demon, which would be what the Shin Godzilla toy would be used for much later on.
April Fools, motherfuckers!
Okay, so this is meant to be a parody of the Comedy Central show Drunk History, the recently canceled Comedy Central show Drunk History. And although rum is my drink of choice, I would be lying if I said that was the only substance I was under the influence of while recording this video. So enjoy rewatching this video with a new perspective. This is also, I think, the first April Fool video where I put the April Fool laugh from Titanosaurus in front of the video so that you knew going in that everything you're about to see is a joke and good fun. So a lot of people asked about how this episode was put together. Was I, quote, drunk for all of it? Did I edit it drunk? Did I play it out drunk? What happened was, when I was good and drunk, I recorded the audio, and then later on, I put all the audio on a track. I removed all the long, awkward pauses and silences and stare-offs, and then I would later listen to the audio and perform it with the toys. So it was almost a game for me, too. Because sober MIB gets to act out what drunk MIB is doing, and maybe this is something I should do again.
Tickle me, man. Me thinks you should give a little tickle, child. I don't want to tickle him. Nobody wants to tickle him.
Ah, crap. All right. Jamaican Elmo. Context! I had just gone on a trip to Jamaica. I actually bought Jamaican Tickle Me Elmo at a gift shop in Jamaica because I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. So Jamaican Elmo is just mimicking the relaxed vibe of my memory of staying in Jamaica. when I look back at it through the lens of today, 5 years later, now I see problems with it. And you might not. I don't think anyone's ever complained about it to me, actually. But as an older person looking back at this younger me, I shouldn't have made the impression such a generic stereotype. And I apologize for it, you know? There's the Monster Island frog. Also, in a crazy loop of irony, I am, quote, drunk while recording the commentary for Drunk Episode 84! Ah! Hey, there's another gift I got from Jamaica, that shot glass there that's made out of wood. That is also from Jamaica, as is that pipe. Wow, I was getting use out of all my souvenirs already.
Newsreel, our boys at war. Brought to you by syrup. You like syrup? We'll have some more.
So for whatever reason, I decided to do this episode in the style of a World War II newsreel. Oh, I forgot that this is the one where somehow the inanimate rubber ducky humps Titanosaurus back.
But I'm having doubts!
Hey, did you just quote a Meryl Streep movie?
What?
Yeah, that movie with Amy Adams and Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's called Doubt. You just quoted it.
So as the characters say, there's this Meryl Streep movie called Doubt. And toward the end of it, there's a scene where Meryl Streep actually says, I'm having doubt! So naturally, one way or another, that made it into an episode of Monster Island Buddies. So I'm pretty sure that still to this day, this is the furthest back we've ever seen in Mothra's story, as well as Batra's. And there's Ibra Sr. again.
But if it's not Zilla, who is it?
Father, Six Emperor Tyrannus!
Six Emperor Tyrannus is what John Wilkes Booth shouted as he shot Abraham Lincoln. There you go.
Get away from them!
Yeah, so I believe this is the first time Angira's talked since episode 50. Which was originally a one-off joke, I think, is what I said in that Secrets episode. I really don't have anything else to say about episode 86. Almost there. A lot of episodes this season. A lot of exposition this season. In fact, there's really not a lot to say about episode 87 because it's just straight exposition. Except, there is this line you might have missed.
There he is, the king of the monsters. More like an old, fat has-been.
Oh, hey, be nice.
Godzilla gets called a fat has-been, and he says the same line that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man said to him, hey, be nice. He got a taste of his own medicine there. And then it's goodbye, Minilla Final Wars toy. You've been with us for so many seasons. You've become a fan favorite. But you must grow into Godzilla 2014. That was the only way I could think of to bring him into the series at the time. Now here's a prophecy nightmare, and I did catch that some eagle-eyed commenters noticed Gojira in the back there, which was foreshadowing his return. So now, was taking gigantic threads of plot throughout the show's entire history and just bringing them together in a way that introduces a definitive beginning, middle, and end to the story. Thought was put into this chart. I actually did pick only characters that were somehow connected to Minilla and events connected to Minilla and Polarizer. I think this is the first time I brought the Polarizer joke up a level where he's bigger than just the TV show. Okay, so this plane ticket was actually made on a website where you could generate fake plane tickets, and I made this for Iceland Air, even though it's a round trip from Monster Island to Las Vegas. And I do remember putting some more Easter eggs on this ticket. For example, January 10th, 2011 is the date that the Jet Jaguar Goes to Vegas episode was uploaded. So at this point, there's a rich enough history in the show to do really wholesome montages like this.
Yeah, I actually have been in love. It might be hard for you to believe, but I did once think a woman was beautiful and funny, and she challenged me in very new and exciting ways. And I think you know who I'm talking about.
So this was meant to be more of a joke, but if I had to say who Godzilla was actually referencing there, but going by my plans for the future, I'm going to say it's Gorgo. So this entire King Caesar monologue is
is Ron improvising. And if you haven't guessed already, this entire season was just peak his involvement. And again, a lot of that is because I had written the entire season at once, so I was able to concentrate all the recording sessions with him. But I remember sitting in the studio and cracking up at stroking that mess. Because it could just mean so many things.
I mean, I was stroking that mess.
Oh. Hey, Minilla. What's the plan? Oh, man, that smells like garlicky cat food.
I'm surprised I didn't say sulfur in that one. That was garlicky. So believe it or not, at this point, I wasn't sure what I was going to do about Manilla's voice yet. So this is me kind of doing a trial run of Godzilla 2014, maintaining 100% of Manilla's voice and personality.
How do you like them apples?
I think I mentioned this in an earlier Secrets video, but every once in a while, a certain video from the old Legacy episodes just kind of pops up in the YouTube algorithms as a favorable recommendation, and then it suddenly starts getting a lot of hits again. And as of this recording, this episode is kind of going through that. So if you came to the channel via this episode recently, and now you're listening to this Secrets video, you're in. I'm glad to have you. This actually worked out great for me that legendary 2014 Godzilla's first big fight would be with the Cloverfield monster toy, who has a removable head.
Get this shit out of here!
And I purposely did the main three characters here in this one shot to witness Manilla's growth since the beginning. That is a remote control to my projector, and that is public domain stock footage. You could tell from how the tape noise moved from the bottom to the left that all I did was flip the image. And I didn't try to hide that. I wanted you to see that.
I love you too, Rodan. And I'm so sorry I never said it sooner. Oh, come here.
89 episodes on Rodan and Mothra kiss, finally. Hooray.
Ladies and gentlemen, my son, the new king of the monsters, Minilla.
Oof, I kind of retconned this, didn't I? I mean, technically, this should have been introducing Minilla as the chosen one, and not giving him the monarch of the entire island so immediately. Ugh. But as you know, he becomes the true king of the monsters at the end of Destroy All Godzillas.
It smells like someone shit a brick of sulfur.
There's the sulfur. And you know what? I don't think sulfur was ever meant to be a running gag. I think I just accidentally kept referencing sulfur and didn't notice it was a theme until recording these commentary tracks. Ibra's dead! And I think at this point in the show, this is the furthest back the chronology has ever gone. Unless you're counting Mechagodzilla time traveling to the dinosaur time. We saw that for 2 seconds. For this segment particularly, I mispronounce everyone's names, and I can't remember why I was doing that. Like Cthulhu and Gohira, like giving it a Spanish silent R. I don't know why. Yeah, so this is the classic Faustian deal with the devil situation here, which still incorporates Gojira's true origin in a way, but just adds that Cthulhu was involved. So weird to see a missile coming out of my basement hallway floor.
Behold, Gohira, king of the monsters.
Go, 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 Hira. I want to thank you all for making this Secrets video possible. So listen, we're going to do the next milestone at 150,000 subscribers just to get this back to a nice round number. And I'm not going to commit that that reward's going to be a Secrets video. There might be an opportunity to do something else that's pretty rare. Maybe a room tour, live Q&A. We'll see. But every subscriber is one more person closer to that goal, and every subscriber is somebody I really appreciate. Thank you for giving me your time. I hope I get to thank you again real soon.